4th of July hot teas.
And we've got a history know-it-all just for you.
Welcome back to the Long Island Tea Podcast, where we spill the tea on how to live your best, fabulous, amazing Long Island life. I'm Sharon.
I'm Stacy.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I like today.
It is a good day.
It's a good day. It's a good Monday. It's nice out.
Yeah.
It's not pouring. It's not 95 degrees.
Right. It's the perfect Long Island weather.
And the studio is crisp. It's crisp. Unlike last week where I think it ended with like my hair glued to my forehead.
Oh my gosh. We can never win, right? So like last week we were sweating. Mm-hmm. This week it's an icebox.
Yeah, it's Goldilocks.
Yeah.
But this is just right. This is enough. I don't mind. Cold is a winner for me.
Yeah, it is. It makes
fine.
it easier. Yeah. So your week has been good because it's just started, right? Mm-hmm. So we're recording a different day. But I think we can talk about our weekend and our fun activities that we did.
Yes, and it is a short week, which love to discover Long Island, but I do love a short week.
I do love a short week because we're celebrating the 4th of July.
Yes, we'll get to those celebrations, which I'm very excited about. Last night, I went to Jones Beach to see the Counting Crows. This is for my friend Sam's birthday.
Very fun.
She actually had a party bus of 20 girls come there.
Gosh.
I met them there.
I was going to say.
That's
a lot.
I would love to partake in that. Wasn't my calling last night.
Okay.
But that was really cute and fun. I'd seen them there before, but really was, not to age myself, but I think it was like 25 years ago.
Same. I think I was at that concert. Was it like...
It was at Jones. It was just, it just
Well,
was
there
that.
was one concert. It was Counting Crows, and I am a huge Counting Crows fan, so this is no heat on him. But, like, I think he had one too many, and he could not perform his concert. Like, he laid in the middle of the stage. That was crazy.
He must have gone out to the Long Island wineries and just embraced what we have to offer. Last night, it didn't seem that way. It did seem that he was dressed poorly. It was very warm, and he was in a denim tuxedo.
Wow, that's amazing.
Once the sun set and the water, you feel the breeze, the water, it's fine. But it just felt like you could, like, on the screens, you could just see that sweat
feel it.
gathering.
That poor guy.
Yeah.
No, I love the Counting Crows, and what an amazing spot to see a concert. I mean, that's a true Long Island summer night.
It's amazing. And I feel like I go there every summer. We were in the VIP section, though, this time, which was very nice. I didn't realize everything they had built. I don't know what I was doing. I guess I just park and I go to my seat.
Yeah.
But that was really
incredible venue. Yeah. I love it there. I spent my weekend on the baseball field. I love it. I'm like, baseball is life. But it is like... It was sweltering. It was so hot. Pearl had a softball game. Braden had a baseball game. And then it was like, why not go back and play in the fields again just for fun? Because that's what we love to do. And I am not a young pup anymore.
You feeling it today?
No, I'll tell you what I did. I met them there because it's around the block from me. They play at the schools. And they typically lock up the gates and on the side of where I enter.
Yeah, so you scaled it.
So I scaled it. No, I did not.
Oh, I was like, wait, I was kidding. That's amazing.
I put Everly over, and I was like, okay, Mommy's going to hop the fence. I got up to the top of the fence, and my hands were sweaty, and I literally fell backwards.
No, you didn't.
I am bruised.
Were you crying?
Like,
were you crying?
Head to toe. Everly was. She was like petrified. Mom, are you okay? I am cut up, like... And I have bruises in places that are just
wait. I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh.
But oh my god, yeah. And then I continued to go and play some baseball with them. It was fun though.
Okay, that must have been very traumatic.
It was a little
if
traumatic.
I saw my mom when
I got up laughing because I'm like, I don't know who Mommy thinks she is.
Yeah.
Like honestly. I climbed the fence again and I hopped it, which I scaled it the second time.
You didn't get a running start.
I didn't get a running start, and I was in flip flops, so
Many moons ago, I was walking with Reed to a basketball court that was across the street, and honestly, I was probably just looking at my phone as we were walking, and on the sidewalk, it was like a huge lift. I don't know what it is, and I just
face planted.
I ate it, and my face. I did go like this, like straight down. Nothing happened to my face, but my knee. And I sort of like, I have a bad knee. I attribute it to nothing. It's just always just been like my weaker knee.
Yeah.
It was so gnarly looking.
Oh, man.
And Reed was probably 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And he was not in a
Ready
space.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay, let's go. I swear my knee was dripping blood down my leg. I still went to a basketball court and I was playing, and I actually think after the fact I got home and I like cried in the shower.
Yeah.
It hurt so much, and we were walking. So I had to, we played basketball for whatever that was at 8. Thankfully, it was probably just me passing him the ball, and as opposed to now, he would like try and like run me over. And then the walk home. So yes.
Yeah, it's rough.
I used to have a thing when I worked in the city that if I saw people fall, because it would always happen. I worked across the street from Penn Station, so people were always running like crazy to catch their train. Inevitably, I mean, several times a week I would see someone fall. It would be a woman in heels tripping over a skirt, or like wide leg trousers, or a man just eating a sidewalk, and everybody would always like sort of laugh. Typically, people wouldn't help, and it would stay in my head and haunt me before I went to sleep.
You would feel so bad.
Yeah, I like cannot see people fall. So if I saw that, that would not have been okay. I wouldn't have laughed, and I would have probably asked you 100 times if you were okay.
So it was funny because it happened so quickly, and like it took me a minute to realize it had happened. So then I like got up and I was like, oh,
like an out of body
experience. Like it was wild. But my sister was there watching the kids play first, and I was like, oh, I'll meet you there. So I get there and she's like, what the heck happened to you? I'm like, I just totally bit the fence. Like, and she's like, you are not, I don't know, you can't,
equipped.
Like, you're not equipped to climb. Like, normal. Anyway, you cannot be doing that.
What was it? What's that game show?
America's Funniest Videos?
No, but that could have applied. No, where they do those competitions, they like run and they're above water.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Amazing Race.
No. Michael, what's the game show? We're like
Survivor?
No, not a reality show.
Wipeout?
It's a physical.
Wipeout.
It's essentially like Wipeout.
Funny, I could totally do Wipeout.
But we have a lot to celebrate about the summer.
Yes.
We are out and about, concerts, sports, weather. Let's talk about Discover Long Island summer campaign.
Yes.
It's a really good one. I'm really proud of our marketing team
They
and
did
the
a great
organization
job.
as a whole. It's really, really good. You can check out our Summer Dream commercial. It's kicking off our campaign. I mean, really, it's been going on for about a month now. It just highlights all the things that we talk about here, which is our beaches, waterfront dining. I mean, if you're not at a table on the water at this point, I don't know what you're doing on Long Island.
Yeah, seriously.
Outdoor events such as concerts, and then we shine. We shine in the summer.
I know, it's our place to be. It's like the time. I mean, we are a year-round destination. We do very good job at letting people know that, I think. But summer is prime time to be here because the beaches are open, and like you said, if you're not eating dinner at a waterfront restaurant, I don't know what's wrong with you.
What was that TikTok? If you're not eating at a waterfront restaurant, where you at?
Where you at? But we just launched our campaign, and our beautiful Summer Dreams commercial is being featured. We're calling it the Summer Dreams.
Yep.
And you can view it at discoverlongisland.com/summer. But you can also find out things going on, like our calendar of events and things, places to eat and see and do.
Yeah.
It's the time to be.
And just to note, it's an amazing time to be here. Should your work schedule, your kids' schedule prevent you from coming out to Long Island, or at least experiencing Long Island as much as you can over the summer, do not sleep in us during the harvest season. And we'll get to that as we progress through summer.
Yes.
But don't feel like if you can't get out here before Labor Day, that all is lost and you have to wait until Memorial Day next week.
Right.
And like what you said, like this is really a year-round destination. And we always joke, especially since I started working here. I mean, I quote this to my friends and family all the time. The beach does not roll up the sand after Labor Day.
Right.
First of all, in September, it's just an extension of summer.
Yeah,
Everything's
it's still
there.
beautiful.
Plus, if you couldn't get that hotel reservation, if you couldn't get that restaurant reservation, you can certainly do it after Labor Day. And then we enter harvest season, which is a whole other thing. I won't even waste time on this particular podcast, but we have you pick destinations all over. So, I'll put a pin in that.
Let's enjoy summer while we can.
Right, sorry, I don't mean to. It's like walking into like Michael's or Home Goods, and there's already like Halloween decorations.
I know. So
it's
pipe
disgusting.
it down.
Yeah, sorry. Strike that. Let's talk about maybe the most important thing
Yes.
in today's podcast. to no surprise of anybody at Discover Long Island or anybody you work with, Sharon was honored at Crest Hollow, Long Island Press's 2025 Power List.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were going into that
I was like,
as the
good.
most
She's
important
really
thing.
owning it.
She's
It is.
ready.
No, it is. Again, celebrated as Long Island Press Power List 2025 honoree. You know, your devotion to our community and industry. We can go on about that stuff, but as far as the staff here, we love you so much.
Aw, thank you.
On a personal and professional level.
Thank you.
So this came out, and even before it got to you, we're very giddy about it.
Aw.
Everybody's very quick to say, "Can I go? Is there an extra table, an
Yeah.
extra seat at the table at this event?" You serve here not only as our COO, but with Kristen's departure, really part CEO as well.
Aw.
In addition to office therapist, which that can be a different, that's its own specialized podcast. But there really is nothing you don't touch here.
Aw, thank you.
Hearts and minds included. So congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
it really, really was amazing to see you get honored. Potentially the most important part of that night was the mandatory dance down the red carpet, which to those who weren't there, there was Erin Colton was the host
Yes,
of
our
the
good
night.
friend Erin
Our good friend
Colton.
Erin Colton from News 12. So she was announcing the winners in all these different categories. And what was mandatory was that there was a red carpet leading you to
Yes.
receive your award, but it would start at the entrance door. And in order to get your award, I mean, I would have made it a much stricter rule such as that. But they asked you to do some sort of dance.
Yeah.
You didn't know the song that you'd be walking up
No.
to. It wasn't like you
That was
selected it
surprising.
like a baseball
Yeah.
player. But
It was
you-
a walk up, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Erin did such a good job as mistress of ceremonies. She was really energetic. She brought the energy, and she was like totally the person to do it.
Yes.
And I definitely was like thinking, they told you before, like, think about what your entrance is going to be like, and I'm like, maybe I'll just do the princess wave, like down the aisle.
It was so much more
I don't
than
know
that.
what got into me, but I was like
Yeah.
twirling down that aisle.
No, and
It's crazy.
it was inspirational. It caused us to dance at the table. If there's an audio clip along with the
there
video here,
definitely
you will
is.
definitely hear
Yeah.
myself screaming at you.
It was so
for you.
fun. And thank you so much for coming, because those things are awkward. When you're being honored, you're like, will you be my guest?
No,
But it was so nice to have the team there with me. I had you and I had Stace, Brianna and Courtney, and my son and my husband were supposed to come, but they got called to a baseball game. So it was really nice to have that support. And we shared our table with Cameron Advertising, who Ben was also honored, the CEO over at Cameron. So we were a good, fun group. And Stephanie was also honored as Rising Star. She was
Yeah.
the only Rising Star, which
Is
I
that
thought
so?
was
I didn't
really
realize
great.
that. Good for her.
So she's new to their team, but it was a really good, fun night. We really definitely had some networking being done, and I was interviewed by Long Island Business News, so that had an article came out today about it.
Very nice.
Shared quotes with some people, but it was really a nice, fun night, and I think it was just really incredible. I said that was my quote in the LIBN, was it was just what an honor to be amongst those influential people in that room. I think it was just such a great event, and so many people. It was so well attended.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I said to you guys, I'm like, there's so many people being honored tonight. I don't know how they're going to get through the list, but they really had it. Like,
Yeah, she did a great
she
job.
nailed it down.
And a lot of the folks being awarded things and getting honored are doing really great things for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Thank you for honoring me
Yes.
again.
Congratulations.
That was awesome.
Yes.
You know what else is really incredible and awesome?
Tell me.
Is our interview that we have coming in is Kimberly Phyfe from the Three Village Historical Society.
She's amazing.
I can't wait to hear about everything that she's going to be talking about for Culper Spy Ring and the commemoration of Long Island 250 and the celebrations that are happening.
Yeah, she's amazing. I'm at these weekly or monthly sometimes Long Island 250 meetings with Suffolk County, and she constantly has information to share, both what's going on at Three Village and also just a wealth of knowledge about
Long Island's history.
Long Island's history and the American Revolution. And, I tell my daughter sometimes that my history teacher, who I don't think is, I think he's no longer with us, so I won't be insulting anybody. When I was in high school, it was history class was really, it just was a drag. It sounded very much like Ben Stein, and you would, it was just chalkboard after chalkboard of notes that he would write.
And then you'd have to
and
copy.
you would write. And those are your study notes. And just what I suspect, just based on our 250 meetings, is that she's going to be the type of person that inspires you to really learn about history, to really dive in, especially because they say if you don't learn it, it'll repeat itself. But I really think that I'm really excited to have her as a guest.
All right, let's listen.
We are very, very excited to be sitting here today with Kimberly Phyfe, Community Engagement Manager from Three Village Historical Society.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I love your energy. And we were just talking about it pre-recording that like it's so nice to have somebody who's so enthusiastic about what you want to talk about. And we're so happy to have you here today.
Oh my gosh, they have to put up with me so much at TVHS. Everybody in Setauket knows about the Culper Spiring, but so many Long Islanders don't. So I'm so excited to get the chance to talk about America 250 with you guys today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what's amazing is that it's not just Long Islanders that listen to us. We are listened to in, I think, 100 different countries now, which is crazy.
That's what
So
we've been told.
Congratulations.
thank you.
I saw your awards.
Oh, yes.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're very proud of the work we do here. So I do want to just tell everybody, so Kimberly and I attend, are they bi-weekly?
It's every month for sure, although
Okay.
it feels more often.
It does. It does. There's a lot of emails coming through just about Long Island 250 celebration, the Revolutionary War, and what took place here on Long Island, which I think maybe I'm just outing myself as someone who is not amazing at history, but I don't think people understand the extent of
Yeah.
what took place here. And I just want to say, at these LI 250 meetings, there was this is sort of a side note, on the Housewives of New York City. There was this one episode. This will make sense. There was this one episode where one of the characters calls the other person a know-it-all.
Okay.
To Bethany Frankel.
That one I've heard of.
So Bethany Frankel says in response to that, maybe I do know it all. I do know it all.
Ooh.
And in the most complimentary way, I would say Kimberly Phyfe, as far as all things related to the Revolutionary War, all things related to Three Village Historical Society, all things related to LI 250. You know it all.
I do.
So
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I think one of the first question I would ask you is just, could you just explain to everybody what the Three Villages even consist of, what towns those are, and just
Sure.
take it from there.
So, funnily enough, it's actually 6 villages. So it comprises the Setaukets, which is Setauket, East Setauket, South Setauket, Oldfield, Poquat, and Stony Brook. And so our headquarters, our museum, is based in Setauket, right on the East Setauket border. So many people have been to the Three Village Farmers Market, best farmers market on
I've
Long
been
Island,
there a couple
2024.
times.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Friday nights.
Yes.
And the museum is open for free on Friday nights, which is an amazing part of the farmers market. You don't get that anywhere else on the island. And so that's our general area. So we're out in Suffolk County on the North Shore. Beautiful waterfront views, a historic homestead, 1805 house is our current museum, and we're building a new history and education center, which will be open in 2026,
Oh, that's
just in
exciting.
time
So
for the
exciting.
semi-quincentennial. And we are on historic farmland in Setauket, big farming community, shipbuilding community, and so that's the area that we serve. But we really do serve all of Suffolk County and all of Long Island, especially field trips. 4th graders, American history, learning all about it. And they're like, wait, the revolution happened on Long Island? We had no idea.
Yep.
And then they come to us. And I will say 4th graders and also like 40-year-olds
Yeah.
and 80-year-olds who had no idea that we existed until now.
Yeah, that's great. So can you sort of help us understand what role did Three Villages play in the American Revolution?
Absolutely. So we always come back to the Three Village Historical Society has been around for 60 years. We just celebrated our anniversary of 60 years last year, and yet nobody had heard of us until Turn. Did you
Right.
guys watch Turn on AMC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Okay. So until 2014, we were kind of the best kept secret about the American Revolution on Long Island. And then Turn came out and the Culper Spiring blew up. It
Really
got
did.
super popular.
Yeah.
The show ran for 4 seasons on AMC. Amazing cast, phenomenal, dramatized picture of history. And so we get 2 kinds of people who come to TVHS. People w'ho've never heard of the Culper Spiring and are so excited to learn, and people who watched Turn and now think, I know everything there is to know about the Culper Spiring. So our job is kind of fact, fiction, folklore, like what really happened
Right.
during the Revolution here in Setauket. How did the Culper Spiring start? What information did they gather? How did this little band of hometown heroes and school friends set up George Washington to turn the tide of the American Revolution through intelligence gathered right here on Long Island. And it's not just Setauket, it was Huntington and Oyster Bay, all the way down to the Terry Ketchum Inn in the Moriches, out to East Hampton and Montauk. All of Long Island was involved in gathering intelligence, but the spies were based in Setauket.
That is amazing.
That is incredible.
So, we can go to the Suffolk250.org website
Yes.
for a lot of the events going on in Long Island. You can also go to discoverlongisland.com/Long Island 250. Can you dive into what 3 villages are doing specifically around LI 250 just to celebrate and commemorate?
Absolutely. So we've been hosting Culper Spy Day for 11 years. So this is not new to us. There's so many wonderful organizations that are celebrating the semi-quincentennial for the first time, maybe. Museums and organizations that have never gotten to take part, and now they're having programming and events and exhibits. But TVHS has been doing this for a long time. So our Culper Spy Day this year is September 6th, and then next year will be our 12th. And we welcome over 2,000 people to the Three Village Historical Society and Museum. We have 14 partner sites throughout Setauket and Stony Brook, and 40 organizations that come to our property to celebrate. And so we have the militia, we have reenactments, we have camps, we have George Washington's field tent,
That's amazing.
Mrs. Washington comes, his squire. This year we're hoping to get Benjamin Talmadge's Dragoons from Connecticut, which is the first time we'll have them. They'll be on the Village Green. It takes place at Emma Clark Library. The Setauket Presbyterian Church, do you remember from Turn? They used that as the barracks. But they never desecrated the Caroline Episcopal Church because they needed a place to worship. And so it's going to take place all throughout Setauket. So that's Culper Spy Day. We also are so proud of our dear friend Margot Arceri, who I think you've met at the meetings.
Sure.
Margot runs Tri-Spy Tours. Which is walking, biking, and kayaking tours to learn all about our revolutionary roots in Setauket from the water, from
That's
the
so
land.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is when we have, when we interview other people and even discuss things between the two of us.
Yeah.
I take mental checks of like what I need to tackle.
Oh, yeah.
This summer, at some point during the year,
You need to go on her
that's
tour.
on the
Absolutely.
list. Done.
So Margot came up with Tri-Spy Tours. It's like a triathlon.
Yeah.
And so you can choose to do the walking or the biking or the kayaking or see all 3 because they cover different distances. And you'll see so much about the Strongs at Strong's Neck, which the walking tour might not cover.
Right.
You get to be at Patriots Rock, where Caleb Brewster launched the cannons during the Battle of Setauket in August of 1777. And the plaque is on there. I mean, I can't even climb that thing. I can't imagine launching cannons from it.
Right.
But it was a pivotal moment
Sure.
in the war and how it came right here to our shores. So we have Tri-Spy Tours, we have Culper Spy Day. Of course, we'll be repeating those next year. And with the opening of our History and Education Center, we'll be able to have even more programming because we can realistically fit about 12 people in our museum at any given time.
Right.
But the barn will have the capacity for about 180 people. So we're going to have programming throughout the year for that.
That is amazing. I mean, history and heritage tourism is such a huge thing. It's not just it's not just a term that's thrown around.
No.
It's really why people will book a trip somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so besides, we talk about the vineyards and our beaches and the farms. Heritage tourism on Long Island is an enormous thing.
And we have a whole itinerary planned between TVHS, Raynham Hall in Oyster Bay, where John Graves Simcoe, worst villain in television history, was quartered, but wrote the first Valentine. Not actually a villain in real life.
Yeah.
A villain with a heart.
A villain with a heart poem was actually in love with Robert Townsend's sister Sally.
Wow.
And Raynham Hall does an amazing job at telling, their whole side of the Culper Spy Ring. Drowned Meadow Cottage opens in Port Jeff this weekend. And so they'll be telling the Roe side of the story because Austin Roe was left out of turn. But he was the messenger. He was Long Island's Paul Revere, riding 55 miles between Brooklyn and Setauket to get these messages back and forth from York City. So
Can you imagine the bumper-to-bumper traffic?
on Middle Country Road, even on horseback, it's a nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. You mentioned the Strong family, actually, and I had bumped into some information about local women like Anna Strong.
Yes.
Can you dive into what she is known for at all?
Absolutely. So anybody who knows anything about the Culper Code, Benjamin Talmadge had this code book, and everyone was given a number. So George Washington was 711. That was his Culper name. There's also place names. So New York is 727, Long Island is 728, and Setauket is 729. But mysteriously, 355 is the Culper Code for lady. She is only mentioned that we know of in one of about 190 culper letters we have found so far. And these were only discovered in 1931, by the way, in East Hampton Library. So everyone's been wondering for a couple hundred years, who is 355?
Yes.
And we think, we don't have proof, we think it's Anna Smith Strong. She was known to her friends as Nancy. And the folklore goes that she would hang her petticoats and napkins on the clothesline because her home in Strong's Neck was across from Abraham Woodhull's farmhouse in Setauket. And so she could see across Little Bay. And that is how she would signal to Caleb Brewster that Abraham Woodhull had intelligence in the dead drop. Brewster would get that information, row it across the Long Island Sound on a whaleboat, get it to Connecticut, to Benjamin Talmadge's dragoons, and Talmadge would get it up to Washington. And so it was a whole loop.
That is so incredible. What a, like,
I feel like I've learned today what I need to. We should go home after this. Like, whatever you're supposed to sort of like absorb in a day's worth of work, we've done it here in 11 minutes.
That's amazing. So it is amazing.
That is really amazing. One quick question, though. You had said that these numbers were discovered at the library in 1931.
Yeah.
Where did that discovery come from? Was it a secret door? Was it in between pages in a book? Like,
it's amazing. We are still finding letters. One was found in a chimney at Drowned Meadow Cottage. One was found at the Long Island Museum in 2020 when the pandemic shut down and the archivists were just looking through all of their amazing stuff. They found an original letter from Benjamin Talmadge signed as his alias John Bolton.
Oh my God.
It is on display on Culper Spy Day, so definitely make sure to check out the Long Island Museum. But Morton Pennypacker, which is the greatest name in history, by the way.
Seriously.
I might change it from Kimberly Phyfe to Morton Pennypacker. Discovered these letters in 1931 in the East Hampton Library, and he compared the handwriting to Robert Townsend in Oyster Bay at Raynham Hall. And he discovered that he was Samuel Culper Jr., Abraham Woodhull was Samuel Culper Sr. And it was because he had the boarding house in Brooklyn and the coffee house in Manhattan, and he worked for Rivington's Gazette, and he was sending all these signals through the newspaper, collecting information from Hercules Mulligan, who was the tailor to the British officers, and his spy Cato. So incredible information, but it went 150 years without us ever knowing who the spies were. And so we always say, like, within the Culper spy ring, we think we know everyone that was involved. But there are a lot of names that get left off of the history list because we just don't know who they were yet. And I love the word yet. We are still discovering. 355 could have been Anna Smith Strong. Could have been Nancy and her clothesline. It could have been Liss, the enslaved person at Raynham Hall, who was there when Simcoe was quartered there. And John Andre came from the Hamptons to hang out with his friend Simcoe. John Andre was hanged as a spy.
This is amazing.
Crazy.
Because he sold the plans for West Point to America's favorite traitor, Benedict Arnold. He was ready to sell out Washington and have Washington assassinated. We don't know where the information exactly came from. We're still trying to put those primary sources together. But there's a lot of information out there, and we're so happy to be able to share that history with Long Islanders and around the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I feel like there's a Hallmark movie in the making here that, you know, city girl goes back home to Setauket, taking care of her family, and during this time she uncovers all these other
letters.
spies. Letters and spies, and it turns into this mission for her. So something to think about.
I think that's going to be you,
I'm going to start
Kimberly.
writing it.
Yes,
I will.
write it
I'll start writing
and
it.
star in it.
Can you please go over your T-shirt?
Oh, absolutely. So this
For
is
those
our
who are not
merch.
watching.
For
You know,
those who
Yeah,
are,
so we are on YouTube.
I love watching your videos on Instagram. I love playing them. So this is we call it the firm, like the law firm of, right? And so we have Talmadge, Benjamin Talmadge, who was head of intelligence under George Washington. We have Abraham Woodhull, who was a potato farmer from Setauket, just an average guy. He also went to school with Caleb Brewster, who was the whale boatman, privateer, pirate, smuggler, because the price for smuggling was they took your stuff.
Right.
But the price for treason, for spying, was death.
Right.
Wow.
So he was a famous pirate. We have Townsend, Robert Townsend from the Coffee House and the Gazette. We have Strong, typically recognized as Anna Smith Strong or Nancy, who you mentioned, but also her husband, Selah, who was imprisoned during the war for suspicion of spying.
Wow.
And, of course, Rowe, which is Austin Rowe, his cousins Nathaniel and Phillips Rowe from Port Jeff. Port Jeff, Setauket, Stony Brook, Oyster Bay, Huntington, East Hampton, they were all connected. and we're just still finding out who else might have been in the ring. So I think if we had every single name that was in the Culper Spy ring on the T-shirt, it wouldn't fit.
Yeah,
It'd be
it would
front
be
and
like
back.
a blanket.
I'm ready for the quilt.
Yes.
I want the patchwork of the Culper Spy ring. Yeah.
So you did not let us down with
you.
all this
Kimberly.
information. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Whether it's going on at Three Villages, whether it's anything about LI 250, anything that our viewers and listeners, it's essential to know as we approach the commemoration.
So most people think of the semi-quincentennial, and if you've never heard that word, it just means half of 500th anniversary.
Right.
The 250th, that's the fancy historian word,
And the fact that you can
semi-quincentennial.
spill it out like so easily, I would be like,
I've had to learn. Semi-quincentennial.
Yes.
It's this year with Lexington and Concord in 1775. Most people think we signed the Declaration in 1776, and that was it, we won the war. That's not true. We were fighting until 1783.
Right.
And then George Washington came to Long Island in 1790. It took that long for him to feel safe here to do his thank you tour. So he did come to Moriches. He did come to Setauket. We know that he stayed in the Row Tavern. So we are celebrating not just in 2026, but we're celebrating the history throughout the commemoration of the war. We have information from the bicentennial from our amazing historian, Bev Tyler. And Suffolk County was so kind, they digitized all of those archives because Bev was here in 1976 when they did the bicentennial. And we are really starting this year with the History Hunt. I think this episode comes out right when the Long Island History Hunt is starting, supported by the Robert David Lyon Gardner Foundation. And you can visit all these historical sites on Long Island this year. The history contest runs from July 1st through September. There's a $500 prize.
Wow.
And a colonial lunch at the Terry Ketchum Inn in Moriches. So highly recommend starting that. It's like a scavenger hunt with selfies, and you get to go to all these 12 sites. That's happening this year. And then next year, our Suffolk County Passport program through all of the museums and organizations that are going to take part. You know, I'm on the board of the Long Island Museum Association, and this was a little passion project that we really wanted to start. And when we brought it to Suffolk 250, they were so supportive.
Yep.
And this passport's going to be huge. We're really going to put history in the hands of everyone here.
Yeah, those meetings have been really productive.
Now, for that contest, how do people enter?
There's a QR code and a link. I'm happy to share that with you guys also. And you'll see it all over our Instagrams. You'll see that people are signing up and they just take selfies and they can explore Raynham Hall, TVHS, Greenwood Cemetery, which was the Battle of Brooklyn, and now is, the most beautiful cemetery in the world. So we can definitely share that link in the show notes as well.
Absolutely. And then how can people find you?
Oh, we are online at 3 Village History. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're really happy to have followers and kind of share some of the events that we have going on.
Awesome. Kimberly, thank you so much for this incredible history knowledge that you bring to us. And it's just been an amazing having you here with us.
I need to know, am I officially a know-it-all?
Oh yeah, no, you did not disappoint. I knew it going in. You didn't have anything to prove today. I knew exactly what was going to happen.
I appreciate it.
This was really a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, girls.
Her passion and energy are just so amazing, and I can listen to her talk about history all day long.
Yeah, this could have been a podcast exclusively dedicated to what was going. What we would share about Long Island history and LI 250 and Culper Spy and all these things that happened in the 3 villages, which actually we learned are 6 villages.
Yes.
So yeah, we can.
I just think it's so interesting that they're still finding letters. I think that was 2020. They're still finding things. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think that every time I see her from now on, I'm just gonna be like, anything new?
Yeah. What else you got out of the archives?
Any updates? She's gonna be like, I want to be interesting, but like back off.
No, she was so awesome. I loved having her. And I think what we're doing in conjunction with Suffolk County and the help of getting these events up and making sure that the website listings are correct and informative. And I think having you be a part of the planning committee is really, really good.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. I look forward to everything. And we have a year of events.
Yeah.
So it's not just, July 4th is a year until the 250th commemoration. So we have a year to attend all sorts of events all throughout Long Island. I really would urge everybody to go to suffolk250.org, as well as discoverlongisland.com/Long Island 250. It is, it can create the agenda, your itinerary for the next year.
Yeah.
If you are a heritage or history tourism type of person.
And I loved it. You just said that. Heritage, history, tourism is a thing. People do travel places to find things out and, make sure that they're getting all their information. But I think, to her point, it's not just that 1 year. There'll be years after that these events are going to be taking place and things are happening. So I'm really excited about it.
And I think a lot of times these things are attached to maybe the older set. Mm-hmm. That is not the case.
That is not the case.
And you can tell from how she was speaking. I mean, you really can bring your kids into this.
Yeah.
And, the way that she was sort of associating stuff that happened however long, 250 years ago, 100 years ago, and sort of making analogies and comparisons to what's happening today, that's really the right way to embrace history.
I love it. She was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what else is awesome? Viral Long Island. TikTok inspired outings to scope out this summer. So our communications team worked alongside a journalist with New York Post to talk about viral TikTok happenings. And I think they did such a great job with hot temps and wanderlust brewing. Now is the time to bring much hyped FYP for your page recommendations IRL in real life, but you knew that one. There's many different items on there, such as cheese pulls at Bagel Boss.
Yeah, have you seen that?
No.
So picture, it's like essentially what we used to do with pizza, the cheese, you'd pull it, but picture a BECSPK and you separate it.
And it's just delicious. Yeah. I'm so hungry right now. And then there's the White Lotus effect at Gurney's in Montauk to hot girl walks at Blydenburg County Park in Smithtown, Orient County Park in Orient, and Smith Point County Park in Shirley.
The hot girl walks will be happening. That's what I do with friends, and that's like our Fire Island walk.
Okay, I love this.
That type of thing. It's not a hot girl walk for me because I'm usually hot. So it's like it's like I'll have my hair in a ponytail, but it's very cute. And the White Lotus effect at Gurney's is funny because it's taken from you watched.
I loved White Lotus. Yeah.
Parker Posey.
Yes.
Had that sense where I think this is the inspiration for this, which is at this age I'm not meant to lead an uncomfortable life.
Yes, I love it.
So head over to Gurney's because you will find all the comfort.
You will find all the comfort there. You can read the article at NewYorkPost.com.
Very cool. Listen, obviously we have to talk about July 4th.
Yes.
It is an amazing time to be on Long Island.
It really is. It really is. What do you do for the 4th of July? Do you have
It's changed over the years. When my kids were around, we actually used to do really cute stuff in our town. They do a really, really, really nice fireworks display, and the whole town basically goes into this parking lot of this bagel store parking lot.
Okay.
And so it's just the whole town is there, and the trunks are open, and kids are hanging out the back, and it's really cute. So we used to do that. And then after that, when that would conclude, we would get in the car and we would call it just fireworks chasing.
Oh,
and
so cute.
Anywhere we saw fireworks, I was like, let's just head in that direction. Yeah. And so sometimes it would just be a matter of going into another large well-lit parking lot.
Yeah.
And they'll stand on the light post, the base, and we'll just watch things
that
like
is
that.
So cute.
My daughter is away for the summer, so she goes to summer camp. So they have a beautiful fireworks display over the lake at camp. So she's there. With my son this year, I feel like this might be the year that he's like, I've got plans. Have a good night.
Have fun, Mom.
But historically, we in town, or we'll go to the beach.
Yeah, that's what I do.
What about you guys?
I literally have a huge beach party every year. I stay the whole day. I'll get up, I'll pack the cooler, we'll pack the car, we go to the beach, plant, we'll pack, put the tent there so that we can get in the shade when we need it. And then just people come and go all day. I have friends and family that just come and go all day. So we stay there.
What should I bring?
You can bring whatever you're drinking.
Okay. Ice? Okay, do you need ice? Okay.
And probably some ice. No, but it's such a fun day. It's definitely a long-running tradition that we've done for the past 15 years for sure. I love it. Robert Moses, it's amazing.
Yeah, Long Island makes it very easy.
It does.
July 4th is not one of those things like a New Year's where you're like, what am I doing?
Right.
It's just we're going to the beach.
Yes.
And we're going to go look at some fireworks.
You can watch them at Stars Over Montauk Fireworks Viewing Cruise. Set sail for a one-of-a-kind view of the Montauk Fireworks display hosted by Montauk Chamber of Commerce and watch the fireworks straight from the water.
Umbrella Beach fireworks. Claim your spot in the sand. Watch the sky light up over one of Montauk's many iconic beaches. Those fireworks will start at 9.
Port Jefferson Parade and Fireworks, and Port Jeff overlooks the Long Island Sound, so take the ferry from Connecticut or ride in from the Island Railroad to spend all day in Port Jeff. Parade as July 4th at 10 a.m. Fireworks are July 3rd at dusk.
Riverhead Downtown Independence Celebration. Visit the Carnival in Riverhead, complete with rides, games, food, and a free fireworks show at dusk. Free admission.
Oh, that's awesome. Greenport Firemen's Carnival and Fireworks supports the local heroes at this annual fundraiser hosted by the Greenport Fire Department. Expect carnival rides, traditional games, and fireworks finale from July 1st through the 5th. So this is going on all week.
And then we always talk about Shelter Island. Another reason to go, Crescent Beach Fireworks. Take the ferry to Shelter Island. Head to Crescent Beach. It's relaxing. It's family-friendly. The show can also be seen from Greenport and Southold Shoreline. That's July 3rd at dusk. And then the most important one of all.
The most important one of all.
Give me a drum roll back there.
DLI is sponsoring the Long Island Ducks game on July 2nd, and we will be there with our team handing out some inspiration guides and fun things. So come visit us on July 2nd at the Long Island Ducks game. But they have Ducks fireworks shows starting July 1st through the 3rd.
I can't wait for that. I'm really, it's a good part of the week.
It is such a fun night. Some places you could listen to live music, because that's a very must thing to do on Long Island this summer. The Marina Music Sessions, Paco Versailles at Montauk Yacht Club. In partnership with Billboard, the Montauk Yacht Club continues its Marina Music Sessions from 4th of July weekend. DJ set by Paco Versailles, July 5th, 5 to 8 p.m.
Beach Boys, do it. This is the time. Jones Beach, catch the Beach Boys, led by original member Mike Love, performing classic hits as part of their Sounds of Summer tour at Long Island's iconic outdoor theater. That's on July 5th.
And then Dan's Red, White, and Brews event is celebrating the Hamptons style with craft beverages and gourmet fare at this annual summer event. It's July 5th.
I just want to note one more thing that Kimberly was speaking about earlier. It's not on July 4th, but it does kick off tomorrow on July 1st, which is the Long Island History Hunt. That is really exciting. Long Island museums and historical societies from Brooklyn to Montauk are teaming up to offer the Long Island History Hunt. It's a free, epic adventure at a dozen sites where spies, patriots, and presidents help shape local history. There was a grand prize drawing.
Yes,
$500.
she talked about it. That's crazy.
So you can just go find that on the Three Villages website.
Or social media, and Michael will post those links in the notes.
Yep.
You know what else happens is the Fire Island invasion. We are ending Pride Month. The end of Pride Month marks the beginning of one of Fire Island's most iconic traditions. Since 1976, the Fire Island invasion of the Pines. Hundreds of drag queens parade through Cherry Grove, board the ferry, and invade the Pines. Thousands of onlookers cheer on, and it ends with the crowning of queens by Pansy, the drag queen who started it all. July 4th at 2 p.m. begins at the Ice Palace Bar. For more happenings and fun things to do on Long Island this 4th of July, you can go to discoverlongisland.com or download our mobile app to see what's happening near you. Okay, so before we close out, because this was a great episode with Kimberly and all the information going on for 4th of July, I do want to let our hot teas know that we are giving you a little teaser of a new segment that we're doing. So we were talking, these past couple of days about the pod and how we can spice things up a little. And I think what a great idea you had was show us your Long Islander. I think what we want to do is have hot teas write into us and nominate who you think your Long Islander of the week should be. We will bring some fun things to the segment, but I think we really want to hear from our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's principal of your school who did something amazing, a local business owner that is doing something for the community, but we all have those stories and we talk about them at the water cooler, but let's really put a spotlight on them. And, there's a lot of big hearts and big minds on Long Island, and I think that'll be really nice to discuss here.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Stacey. What a great episode. Thanks to Kimberly, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
The Long Island Tea Podcast is brought to you by Discover Long Island. For exclusive access to contests and promotions, follow Long Island Tea Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And for questions, comments, and collaborative inquiries, email spillthetea@discoverlongisland.com.